We've discussed obviously key benefits of combining, I guess, the S&C and integrating it with the tactical technical. What would be some other benefits, I guess, from a performance point of view?
I think there's a couple of factors to it. I think there's the obvious one, which is we're trying to improve the sport. But then I think looking at your core work, your plyometrics, your speed, your conditioning, but certainly your running and your plyos as a skill as well. Some factors for motivation for a learning environment are autonomy, competence, and being out of your comfort zone. So I like to have my plyometric and my running drilling and my core progressions based around a bit of skill. You'll have a bunch of different guys in the gym and they're all on different levels of this spectrum for their plyos. And when you've got sort of 9 or 10 levels of this sort of stuff, and it's based around the skill and the execution, it starts to bleed into that autonomy because you're progressing through at a rate that's specific to you, which is also leads into your confidence. And then you're constantly having them reach out of their comfort zone and achieve something.
Talk us about how do you develop, for those that are lacking the efficiency or lacking the capacity, I guess the basics, the fundamentals from a physical point of view. So how do you sort of, I guess, marry that up with when you're managing a large squad?
If you put them into a high-speed drill and they're a young guy and they don't run well, or you put them into a high-fatiguing drill, it's dangerous as well in terms of an injury perspective. You can either stagger your pre-season, which I think the AFL do really well with their, your 1st to 4-year players. I definitely think there's a place for general conditioning and that sort of stuff early on. I think when you've got your different levels and your spectrums of, okay, this is a level 1 plyometric, this is a level 10, then that kind of takes care of itself as well, because they're on the spectrum and they're kind of on that exercise until we all agree that they're ready to go to the next one. And there's a theory in learning, and it's called the broaden and build theory. And you start really, really general and focus on a fine skill, and then it gets a little more specific and a little more complex, and then really specific and really complex. And that's how I like to set the sessions up.
What's that? The broaden
and build theory.
Build theory.
Yeah, and the plyos are set up in the same way. The core stuff, it's like start simple. In S&C, we just call it simple to complex. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to set the sessions up that way because I feel like I can get them running well, then get them running fast, then get them executing their skills on top of that in the one session.
Let's say you put a drill together that everyone designed together and it didn't quite get the stimulus you're looking for from a GPS point of view and speed point of view. How would you sort of deliver that feedback, I guess, to the coaches?
Yeah, it depends on where the group's at with everything. We've had some drills where I'll update live and I'll say, hey, can we start this drill with a kick chase? Can we all start on halfway, kick downfield and sprint? Because we're just not quite getting enough very high speed running. And no worries, next rep, that's what we're doing. Or we have some days where it's not happening and it's not an option, and that's totally the coach's rights to do that. And then we might have to do some MAS or some different stuff to top them up at the end. I think when you have it as a learning day and then you have kind of your execution days. So you have your days where you're like, take as much time as you want, coach as much time as you want. And then today's like, okay, we're all bought in and this is the day where we go to work, and you probably use your safer drills. You probably use your experimental for your learning days, and you use your drills where you know we're gonna get what we need today on this day anyway.
What advice would you give yourself starting out your bachelor's degree, I guess, in sports science? Really feel like it's a seamless transition into full-time pro sport as well, where you feel confident to make an impact.
I would definitely say be patient. Reach out to guys. My experience was guys are really happy to help. It's almost like a teaching profession in some ways, and guys have been through it. They're happy to help. They're happy to have you in for a session, see as much as you can. And then I would say use your university and your education to learn how to think about problems rather than just copy paste stuff into your program. So see sports science and university as a way to make sense of strength and conditioning problems and as a way to assess what's working and what's not, rather than just trying to rope learn and transition a whole lot of things into every program that you do.